on the News Channel 5 network. This is OpenLine.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Open Line. I'm Carrie Sharp, a special Open Line. I'm not usually on Thursdays, but for a very good reason. Tonight's going to be a great hour, a fun hour. It's really a chance for you to chime in, have part of the conversation with us. We're calling this segment Beyond the News. We've already heard from Rory Johnston. He was my guest last month. Now the one and only Vicki Yates is my guest that you get to ask questions of. Vicki, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Carrie. This is fun.
You know, I asked you to be here first.
You did.
But we were thinking you had a hot date. So
and we knew that wasn't going to happen.
So you couldn't be here. So Rory sat in, which we really appreciated. We had a lot of fun. But really, I call this Beyond the News because I think it's so important, especially in this day and age, for people to be reminded that as we come into your living room every night, we are people who live in this community.
Exactly.
We have joys in our life. We have stresses.
That's
we have
true.
other passions beyond.
You're right.
Doing journalism.
For sure.
And I think that if we can just have a conversation, I know people want to ask you questions and know more about you.
I hope so.
So this is your chance to call in. 615-737+ is the number to call. I've already got a question from one of our producers that loves us. I'll ask that here in a second. But first, I want to know, why journalism? Why did you decide many years ago to say, this is what I want to do with my life?
You know what? It was not a grand plan to be a journalist. It wasn't. A lot of people say, oh, was it your passion? And it was not my passion.
Really?
My passion was writing. I love to write. And I went to Michigan State University. Go green, go white. And I was in advertising. That was my major because I thought, well, I can write creatively with advertising. Well, once I got into it, I decided I really didn't like it. And so I thought, where can I go? Where can I use my credits without losing them? And my teacher said, well, have you ever thought about communications, mass communications? Make a long story short, I got into mass communications. One thing led to another, and I started working with the local TV station.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it took off. I had no desire to be a journalist as far as I've got to get out there and get the story.
Right.
I just wanted to write. I love writing.
And now you do that every day.
I do it every day.
How long have you been at News Channel 5?
28 years.
28 years.
Yes.
And that is really something in this business, to stay at one station that long.
It really is.
Why do you think you've stayed here?
You know what, I think for me personally, it's been very comfortable. I'm originally from Detroit, that's my home, but this is now my home because my kids were babies when we moved here, and this is really the only home they've ever known. They were born in Pittsburgh but raised here, so this is home for them, and it's become home for me. People in Nashville were just so kind to me and so open, as you know. They've been to you as
very
well.
Much so.
And so it's just kind of where I wanted to stay. I didn't really have a desire to, and I've had offers, but I've not had a desire to move on. And I think the people of Nashville, they like having the same person there. I really do. I think they like the stability. Yeah. And so I'm grateful that they do.
Well, when you invite someone into your living room every day, you want to get to know them, you want to trust them, you want to know that, okay, we're all in this together, right?
Yes.
Right. So you like to have that familiar face. I want to tell people at home, I don't know if you can hear this, Rory. Rory's in my ear right now.
What is he saying?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. So Rory Johnston, go take a break. That's what you're supposed to be doing right now. He is the jokester of the newsroom, isn't he?
He is the jokester of the newsroom.
And I said when he was on, I kind of think he personifies an Italian grandmother because he's always bringing in sweets to the newsroom.
That's true. He does.
He loves to feed people, but you do too. You have this cookie tradition.
I do.
When did it start, and why did you start bringing cookies every Friday?
Every Friday I bring cookies in. Yeah. It started when I worked in Pittsburgh. I was working at KDKA. I was doing the weekend anchoring, and during the week I was a general assignment reporter. Well, the weekend crew felt like the redheaded stepchild.
Yes, of course.
Nobody ever really paid attention to us when there was something going on. We were never a part of it. And so we decided, well, we're just going to have fun and do it ourselves. So one time, I believe it was Thanksgiving, we had this big feast. Everybody brought something in, and I brought the sweets. And I said, well, okay, this is for Thanksgiving, but we have to continue this or do something. And so every Friday I would bring sweets in for the weekend crew to start.
And people count on it here.
They do.
If you were not here on a Friday, people get upset.
Well, I usually ask you or Rory, or I remind you, you better bring some cookies in.
But I'm terrible remembering. I am terrible, Vicki. I mean, you are on top of it, and people count on it. I mean, it's just a very sweet tradition, and I think it really shows just really who you are. You're very caring.
Thank you.
You're always extending your hand to others, and you're just so darn classy.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
Well, I truly mean it. I mean, I've never heard this woman say one harsh word about anyone, and that is just the God honest truth. And I just think that shows just what kind of person you are. are with your heart, and you don't find that in many newsrooms.
Well, that's really nice of you to say, but I mean, look who's talking.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
You've been such an asset to the station since you've been here.
Well,
Seriously.
you're very sweet.
I think that people just adore you, and I always get, what about Carrie? What's she like? Oh, she's just what you see. She's just the perfect person.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I want to remind you, this is your chance to ask questions. We want to hear from you. 615-737 plus our producer Alan. He's our promotions producer, which for some reason you always speak in a British accent with. But whatever, you guys have your thing. See, the things you don't know that are that's happening behind the scenes. He wants to know your most memorable day here at News Channel 5.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I
thought that one out.
I know. I'm putting you on the spot, Vicki.
Here at News Channel 5, actually, it was probably the floods.
Yeah.
Because, well, it was probably the floods. Everything happened there. We were down in the newsroom, and if you know where the newsroom, and I'm sure you don't, but the newsroom has no windows. So
we're in the basement,
We're in the basement. Things started, that weekend, things started to flood. It was on a weekend, and they called us and said, you need to come in and salvage what you can from your desk. And I remember coming in on a Sunday and having to wear boots because there was so much stuff on the floor. That was really a big day because everybody was just sort of like, we weren't expecting it. We really weren't. It was just, it started out as like a gentle rain, and then as people here know, it just poured and it just stayed raining. It just kept raining. And so I think that was one of the biggest days.
And I think too, I wasn't here for it, but I can only imagine that's one of those times where we go into overdrive when it comes to broadcasting and doing our job.
That's right.
But at the same time, we were personally affected. The people working here.
For sure. And you wanted to make sure other people were safe too, because their homes, a lot of homes were flooded. It wasn't just the station, there were a lot of homes. And so some people were at home trying to secure their homes, and we were here trying to take care of what we had here at the station. So I think that was one of the most memorable days for me.
All right, we're going to jump to the lines real quick here. We have, this is a new phone, so I'm having to figure it out, so give me some grace here. Bobby's on the line. Hi, Bobby.
Yeah, my name is Yates too.
Oh,
really? Are we related?
I'm trying to find out something about my family.
Okay.
I can't find. I'm the last one as far as I know.
Where's
the only thing I have heard is that my grandfather or great grandfather came down from Illinois on a river raft or a river boat. River raft, I think.
Okay.
And there's a, I think he was a governor or something named Yates in Illinois. But other than that, I can't find out anything.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Now, is your whole family from Michigan?
Initially, I'm from Michigan, but my mother and father, my father's from Texas, and he later lived in Oklahoma, and my mother is from Missouri.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they were transplants to Michigan, but my sister and I were raised in Michigan. So the Yateses who are in Michigan are relatively new Yateses in Michigan, but I'm not sure that we have relatives in Illinois necessarily, Bobby, but I don't know, you and I might be related.
Who knows? Bobby, thank you for calling and getting us started tonight.
The only thing I can find out is I'm Scotch-Irish and Cherokee on the other side. So, but I can't find anything out about the Yates family at all.
Well, I think initially the Yateses I know are from Atlanta, or from, I think they were from Atlanta, and that was like years, and obviously like in the 1800s or something. That's as far back as I can go. So,
all right.
I don't know.
Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you getting us started tonight. We also have Mike on the line. Hi, Mike. Mike, are you with me?
Mike?
Mike, I'm going to give you one more shot, and then I'm going to put you on hold. Hi, go ahead.
Are you there?
Okay, Mike, I'm going to put you on hold, and we'll come back to you. We'll loop back. Let's go to Georgia. Hi, Georgia.
Hello?
Georgia? Here she comes. Georgia, are you there with me?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead with your question.
I just wanted to say I really don't have a question.
Okay.
Vicki and I moved back to Tennessee about the same time, and I watch Channel 5 because she's so beautiful.
Oh, you are so sweet.
And she's so sophisticated, and then along comes Carrie. But anyways, I don't have a question. I just have to make that comment.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia, for calling in. Isn't it nice to hear positivity?
It really is.
Yes.
Because, I mean, we're in a business where there's so much negativity. It's nice to hear something that's pleasant and coming from the heart, so we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to go to somebody who I know you know, we all know. Reverend Fuzz is on the line. Hi, Reverend Fuzz.
Hey.
Hey.
I want to know about Vicki Yates.
Okay, what would you like to know?
I'm going to ask, number one, what's your favorite color? That's going to be, but wait a minute, hold on.
Okay.
I want to hear a couple of your political views.
Oh, I don't know if I can tell you those.
I'll let you pick which ones you want to share with everybody.
Well, I don't know if I can tell you those, but I can tell you my favorite color is blue. I can tell you that.
Hey, I didn't know that.
It is.
No,
Blue is my favorite. I love royal blue.
Oh.
So that would be my favorite color. But as far as politics, I try to stay right down the middle, because when you don't, I mean, in the business that we're in, you have to. You know, I mean, you have your own personal feelings about things, but you shouldn't know whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. If you know for sure, then obviously I'm not doing my job. Yeah. So that's the way I feel. But
good answer.
Thank you,
Reverend Fuzz. It's always good to hear from you. Thank you for calling in tonight. All right, we have Miss Joanne joining us tonight. Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to say that there's a gorgeous picture of Vicki on page 48 of the anniversary edition of In Focus magazine from the Symphony Ball a few years ago.
You know what?
And it's just lovely.
Thank you so much. A friend of mine showed that to me, and it was when I had blonde hair. I'm a blonde in the picture. There aren't many pictures of me with blonde hair, but that was one. And I was with my dearest friend, Francis Gass.
I think somehow we've gotten all kind of feedback. So
we're in a war.
Joanne, I'm going to put you on hold here. I tell you, we have this new phone, and it's a little funky, but we're going to get it straightened out. You have probably emceed every event in town.
I have.
You have been. People just know you, and I mean, that has to be fun, but it also has to be hard to go to the grocery store.
You know what? It's not only because when I go to the grocery store, I don't wear makeup, and it's not that they don't know me. It's just that they're like, Vicki, like, was that you? And I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't go shopping in makeup.
No, I don't either. Okay, let's go to Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello.
Hi there. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, Vicki.
Yes.
At one point in time, my girlfriend had mentioned something about being a model, and I think you would be a great model.
Oh, you are so
So
sweet.
did you ever think about being a model?
You know, never, because I'm short. I'm
She wears tall heels.
we're really big heels, but I'm not tall enough for that. And actually, I don't think I'm disciplined enough for that. I think when you're a model, you have to be stick thin, or at least you used to have to be. And that doesn't interest me because I like to eat.
Barbara, thank you for your call, but you are pretty fierce about going to the gym.
Yeah, I have to. It's a release for me. It's not just about your weight. It's about just kind of getting the, you know, the tension out or whatever, and just doing something good for yourself. Yeah. So I'm all about that. But look who's talking.
Well, I do
Weren't
the same
you a gymnast?
I was a gymnast back in the day, a long time ago.
We need to have somebody interviewing you here.
Seems like another lifetime. But yeah, I feel the same way about going to the gym. It is a time for me to just get all the junk out.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I want to be healthy too. But yeah, it's a big release.
And you kind of get away. And I have children, but they're adults now. But when they were younger, it was kind of a time to get away from the kids. Just for an hour.
Right. It's like, this is mommy's hour.
Mommy time.
Mommy
That's
thing.
right.
Yes. Okay, I think we have to take a commercial break. We've got more calls to go. I'm going to get to you right after this. Stay with us.